you? This is Blake Singh again, and I wanted to give you a quick update as to what happened last week. So last week was the first week back to farmers market. I think I mentioned before, but I'm doing two markets this year, on Thursday and also on Saturday. So for Thursday I have to bake most of the things on Wednesday, and then for Saturday I have to bake it on Friday. And let me tell you, I sold out on both markets. The Thursday market, it is a slower, not a slower, but a smaller market. But on Saturday, the market's a lot bigger, and it's the one that I live very close to. And the market starts on Saturday at 8:30 until 12:30. And we sold out by 10:30. So 2 hours before the market ended. It was amazing. My entire week pretty much went very smooth. The only hiccup we ran into was I didn't have pre-label bags. So we were labeling things the morning of. And we were kind of late. I think we only had like a half an hour before the market opened, but we made it. Yeah, we were stressing, but it already happened. We learned our lesson, so that's why I look tired, because the rest of the weekend I spent on labeling hundreds and hundreds of bags, probably 500 bags, because I'm gonna need a lot of bags for both markets. I pre-weighted my flours for this week. I lined all of my bannetons. I organized my baking area. So I actually did cinnamon rolls. I froze them, and today is Tuesday, June 9th, and I'm going to be preparing the gluten-free sourdough bread. It's going to go through a cold proof in the fridge so I can bake it tomorrow evening. And I am a little stressed this week because I got a last minute call from my doctor for an appointment that I have to be there on Thursday at 10, just like for a neurology. Yes, neurology. I was waiting on a call, and they called me for Thursday, and there's usually traffic going in and coming back, so thankfully my mom is going to be helping me, but that's why I've been taking advantage of every single minute that I have preparing things for the week, because of the appointment, and also because I learned my lesson about pre-labeling things and the whole 9 yards. You learn your lessons, and you'll figure out the things that you need to adjust as you go. Yeah, you go through stressful moments, but it will happen. So yeah, I had a very successful week last week, and I hope for the same thing this week. The weather's gonna be kind of cloudy. We might get some rain towards the end of the market on Thursday. Other than that, Saturday looks a little cloudy. I'm gonna aim to prepare the same amount of items. Just for Thursday, I'm gonna take a lot of more cinnamon rolls, because I didn't take it last week and a lot of people were asking for it. Definitely more gluten-free sourdough bread, because that was the first thing that I sold out. And even though I only took, I think, 12 loaves or 8. So I gotta double check how many it took so I can bring on 4 more loaves to the market. But yeah, that has been life, busy as a bee, and on top of it, I'm still at my part-time job. So I feel like I have 3 jobs now, 4 jobs being a mom. But I mean, I have to take advantage of this, because at the end of the day, it's our source of income. To help my family, I have 2 kids, and sadly, I lost my sitter. Hold on, my husband's calling me. Sadly, I lost my sitter a week before the market started, and I had to enroll my son in daycare. So I have a lot of more time for myself and baking, not for myself, to bake, to work. And I don't have to feel as guilty that he's by himself watching TV or bored. So it kind of worked out, even though it's expensive. I'm happy that he's going to be learning a lot more things, and he's going to be prepared for kindergarten next year, not this year, in 2027, because he's only 4. He just turned 4. So sadly, that's an added expense, but I guess that's why I have to work extra hard. Alrighty, let's talk more doing. I don't buy the heavy jugs of water. Why? Because I can't do heavy things. I have a back spinal cord tumor. If I lift things heavy, I won't be able to walk or feel my legs for about 2-3 days. So I do that because of my health. And also I haven't noticed any difference. And I have used bottled water, I have bought a small jug just to see if there's any difference. And no, I've never noticed a difference because I changed the filters. And even my, my kitchen sink has a water filter. Even though I don't use it from there, because the hot water, there's something about the filter, it can't filter hot water. You can look it up. Don't quote me on it. A bit of this.
I got this spoon mixer a couple weeks ago and I love it to mix anything that requires probably 6-8 batches because it's a lot larger than my KitchenAid. So everything goes to the fridge right after I mix it. I'm doing a voiceover because everything is like go, go, go. It's go time for everything. What I'm going to be preparing now, it's actually my sourdough cinnamon rolls. I always try to shape it as evenly as possible in a rectangle shape. That way there's less reshaping or cutting, uneven edges. As for the filling, I like to create a paste with the brown sugar, butter, and cinnamon. It's my favorite because I feel like it's less messy, it's spread evenly, it bakes beautifully. There's really no water down once you proof the cinnamon rolls. I don't know, just my opinion. So once I finish, lathering a healthy layer and an even layer, I go with a pastry cutter and then keep rolling all of my cinnamon rolls. This is my favorite part about the cinnamon rolls, which is to roll them. It's very relaxing. I ended up doing 5 batches of cinnamon rolls. I lost count how many individual rolls I ended up with. So then I actually placed them into a pan with a lid, but I cover with a plastic and then place the lid on top to prevent any freezer burn, which will actually hinder the second rise once I thaw them out. I might have mentioned it before, but I got this Vivo table. It's a foldable table, and it might look like I have a lot of space in my baking area, but this is like my little corner, and I love that I can just take it in whenever I need it. And it's my favorite one to use for cinnamon rolls because it requires a lot of surface area. I forgot to mention that the cinnamon rolls were rolled on June 10th in the morning before going to work. And this is actually right after coming from work. Around 3:40, I was getting ready my loaves to bake. So I have an app on my feature that allows me to turn on my oven at a specific time. I usually do like an hour, 15 minutes before I get home. That way it's ready to just tuck the loaves into the oven and get ready and get them baking. The oven itself is completely manual. There's no fancy gadgets or feature. It's just that my husband installed this device into the actual outlet that I guess allows electricity to flow through. And I always leave the oven on, and the app allows me, I guess, to electricity flow through to the oven, if that makes sense. I'm not too technical on it, but yeah, so I can always I'll put the name of that little gadget, which is pretty cool. The gadget, it's actually a pool timer. That's what it's called, but I'll put the specific name at the bottom. The first bake is officially Wednesday. It's the craziest day because besides baking, and I'm also preparing side by side more dough for Saturday market because I do a 2-day cold proof, cold return in the fridge before baking. Look at the beautiful loaves. But anyways, going back to my schedule, on Monday I prepare dough. in order to bake on Wednesday. And then on Tuesday, I do take a bit break, but I also prepare and wait out all of my flour in order to mix on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I went to sleep around midnight, and I actually left some English muffins preparing for a second rise. Sometimes it do take quite a while, especially if the dough's cold. So I got up around 6:30 and I started to bake. The oven was ready, and these are my top sellers. And even at home, we go through them like crazy because it's my family's favorite as well. I bake these English muffins using the double pan method, and it works perfectly as long as your dough balls are perfectly round. Or else you're gonna have like funky misshapen English muffins. And then the second part is that you need to push your bulk fermentation or your proof, your second rise on these. That way they're nice and airy and lightweight. That's how they should be. I have all of the 3 decks going at the same time with English muffins, and honestly, the more I bake in this oven, the more I love it. It's so simple. It bakes beautifully. I can bake a lot of different things on it. Believe it or not, behind camera, I do test a lot of things to bake in this oven. And I also love sharing tips with friends that I made online who have the same oven. So I like to share what works for me, and many people are very thankful that I do the testing for them. I hope by now you can tell how busy my week is, and surprisingly, I have been feeling more rested on the weekends. Usually, I'll take a big fat nap on the weekends, and my naps are about 3-4 hours because I was exhausted. And even though I'm doing 2 markets, I have a part-time job, and I have 2 kids, I do feel more rested compared to last year. And I think it's to 3 main contributors. One of them I think is the medicine. I'm on nerve pain medicine, so I'm able to walk and stand better or for longer times. My knees don't feel heavy, but also my mom helps me on Thursdays. My husband is constantly helping me in the background. Even though I do most of the baking, all of the dough, he does help me with, whenever I need to add flour into the mixer, or butter or eggs, whatever little thing it might be, he's always there. So we always give our 100% on everything and we have a great communication. We understand both each other pretty well. So it's very much doable if you have great, or I would say phenomenal, time management skills. I'm also very much organized, but I think when it comes to bake day, everything is just a bit more chaotic, and you have to adapt into your own little chaos because trays are all over, bins are all over. So my husband does most of the washing as we go. So as long as you have a great team, it's very much doable. If it were to be just me, I would probably be doing half of what I'm doing or half of the amount is what I'm trying to say. But going back to baking, pizza crust came out wonderfully. They actually fly on my Thursday market. They sell out very quickly. And this is my setup for Thursday market. My mom is in there. She helps with unloading the packaging and everything else because some things are heavy for me. The flowers are for my garden, the snapdragons. Everything is beautifully labeled and organized. And again, none of this would be possible without the support that I have. On the Thursday market, we went through some scary stuff. There was a storm that came through out of nowhere. It wasn't expected to hit the town, but there were tents flying all over. There was lightning. We were sheltering in the bathroom, and some vendors took off as soon as possible, but I was too scared, so we were hiding in the bathroom. I lost a lot of product, but the good thing is that no one was injured, and I got home safely. I did have a lot of product under the table as well, and I was able to sell them to my local community in my town, and people were picking up orders until 10 p.m. that day. So I'm very grateful, and the rest was donated to teachers. And look how different the Saturday market is. It was very beautiful and sunny. We sold out. I'm so thankful. I'm so blessed, and this is proof that hard work pays off. Yes, hard work pays off. Thank you so much for sticking around.